Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I wanted a few minutes of your time. I was driving in the car, and Frankie Beverly and Maze has a song called Running Away. If you're familiar with that amazing band, then you know the exact song that I'm talking about. And as the song was playing, it came to me to share something with you about running away and needing rejuvenation and leaving bad situations. Oftentimes, the first thing we do before we run away from the situation is we try to run away from us. We try to act as if we don't know what's going on, as if our intuitive will isn't telling us. Now, there is a difference between faith-based intuition and fear-based intuition. And my understanding of it is when your intuition is fear-based, you will have anger and bitterness and a sense of anxious not knowing and looking all around waiting for something to really explode. When it is a faith-based intuition, even though it's something that you probably don't want to face, there's a calmness about you in the inside where you know you will get through it if you call on the soul's inner, sorry about that, wow, that fell, the soul's inner mechanism that allows us to connect to the higher divine power by whatever name you call it. I happen to think that my soul is connected to the great soul, and therefore I am a part of that. I am. The personality that is Tracy is just experiencing the physical part, but the soul in me knows, and the soul in me has come to learn lessons. And in those lessons, I meet people and situations happen that will allow me to learn and to grow. Not all the time does that growth feel good, and not all the time does it show up in a way that is deserving. In terms of, if I slap you, you should slap me back. I deserve it. I hit you, you should hit me. I do believe that. And I know some people believe even if somebody hits you, don't hit them back. I'm not of that school of thought. So if I put my hands on you, I should not be surprised if you put your hands back. That to me is, I deserve that. But if I don't hit you and you hit me first and I wasn't being belittling you or hurting anybody that you love, then that is something that is, I believe that undeserved suffering is redemptive. I was taught that by the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and my understanding of it is when you go through something that you didn't actively cause to come into your life, it is so that you can learn and grow. And it could be, I think that sometimes it's a karmic absolution for something else you did that you may have thought would come back a certain way, but what we send out, we don't get to choose how it comes back to us. So if I send out evil to somebody, I will get the evil back. I know oftentimes we think, well, we live in a world full evil and it doesn't seem like evil is being paid back. I don't agree with that. I believe evil is being paid back, and it may not be on my time or to my understanding, but I don't believe that anybody gets away with anything. That's why I'm a firm believer that no matter what you're doing, no matter what you do to somebody else, it will come back to you. You will not run away from the consequences of your actions. Many times, and relationships are the most fragile of things in spaces where we do each other wrong. And oftentimes one partner will feel that they can go out and find someone else to be intimate with, and that the partner that they've made a commitment to by either legal marriage or by verbal marriage and commitment, that they won't know. Well, if they're in tune with their body, they will know when somebody else's energy has entered into their body. And if they're not in tune with their body, they'll feel it somehow. Things just always have a way of coming out. I've been in situations where I've known people who've decided that that's the way they want to show up in the world. It's a very low vibratory space to show up and to purposely know that you are hurting someone, and that you do it anyway. But here's the news. If you're the one that's being purposely hurt, they're going to get double of what they've done to you. You do not get to just walk away. And sometimes it comes through their children or through someone they love, but that pain will be revisited. That's why, not in an arrogant way, but in a very self-assured way, I never feel sorry for anybody for anything that comes in their life, and even myself, because I'm not them. So I don't know what this life, and I do believe in past lives, or the past life has come that they have to get this back, the big payback. You will experience what you put out there. You will not walk away from it. And if you're honest with yourself, when things go wrong in your life, if you're honest with yourself, you will know that it is either pain that you have inflicted finding its way back, or pain that is coming to you to help you to grow to the next level, and it's necessary. Either way, it's a win-win for you if you decide to not run away from it. The faster you run from something that is meant for you, it's going to catch up with you. We hear that proverbial whatever, when you're running away from a problem and you pack a suitcase, well, that problem went in, because the problem is already in here and in here. I'm a firm believer that oftentimes when we keep running away from something, we develop a dis-ease in our body, because that dis-ease comes from us running away from that situation. And lots of time the pain is so intense, the suffering becomes so intense that the soul wants to get out of that body, and so a dis-ease occurs, a cancer occurs. I had a really good friend, she's still alive by the grace of the Creator, but she developed breast cancer many years ago. And when we talked about it, she said to me, I got breast cancer because I repressed a lot of emotions. Yes, it was something that they say is genetic, but genetic just means a lot of repressed emotions over generations. It doesn't mean that it's just the food you eat. It's in the cells, it's in the DNA. So then you have to be doubly careful because you already predispositioned to it. Well, when she admitted that she was in a very bad marriage, a man who was verbally abusive and emotionally abusive and cheating on her, and she just ate all of that, and she just suffered and let that go in. She was angry, but she was inwardly angry. She had already divorced this man because he left her for the other woman. And so she did get a divorce, and she moved on with her life and ended up getting breast cancer, but she caught it in the first stage. And I believe part of that is because she was doing the work. She was actively doing the work. Hey, Steph. She was actively doing the work, but the cancer had already settled in her energy. Her soul was trying to get out of that body, but she got it in time. She did the spiritual work. She did the forgiving work. Now let's fast forward to him. So he has a wife and children. He meets a woman that he decides that he wants to be with, which is his right. I am in no way saying stay with somebody if you're not happy, but don't be a coward. It's a cowardly way to try to have one woman over here and one woman over there. You're a coward. What makes you a real man is to decide this isn't working for me anymore, and I'm going to take care of you all, but I'm not in love with you. And see, as women, if somebody is not in love with you, don't hold on to them because he got some children. Just if he takes care of his children but he doesn't want you, that's okay. He gets out of the way. Somebody who does want you can find you. So a real man would, even if you don't agree with that, for me, I don't want nobody staying with me because he married me first, but he's met somebody that he wants to be with. Go be with them. But this man was a coward and was having two relationships going on. The girlfriend, the mistress, the other woman knew about his wife, and his wife at some point found out. She found out about her, but she was hiding it and trying to pretend and trying to be this amazing woman. And this is, you don't know her, and this is a real story, and I'm not gossiping her business because I'm using it as an example, and I'm being very loose with it so that nobody figures it out, although you won't. So he does go on, and he marries this other woman that he had been with for 3 years, and he left his wife and he was with her. And guess what happened? He meets another woman that he wants to be with, and he takes the now wife, ex-mistress, through everything she deserved to go through. the dis-ease that she developed ended up taking her off the planet. Now, I think she deserved it, because the pain that she put in his first wife by being available for fuckery found her. Because you can't run away from anything, and it's going to catch you. So that caught up with her. So when you're thinking that you're running away from something, you're not. So you might as well stop and face it. No matter what it is, it's never as bad as you think it will be. It's never as grim as it appears in this mind, because we have these imaginations. Usually when you look at the situation, it's really hot, it's beautiful out. I'm about to go teach a yoga class. When you look at the situation for what it is, even write it all out. Get to the heart of the matter. And understand that when you get to the heart of the matter, you can start to flourish a little bit. But running away from it isn't going to do anything. Oftentimes, I can spot when someone's running from something because they become overly proficient in every other area of their life. They're perfect in every other area of their life, and because they're running from something. But when you stop and you can admit that you're flawed, when you can admit that you just don't have it all together, and you can find somebody that you can trust, because, you know, telling everybody your business probably isn't a good idea, because people will only give you advice to the level of vibration they are at or what's happened in their lives. So they'll use a lot of shoulds, what you should do. That word should has some great connotations when I'm saying to you, you know what? You should join Arbonne 30 and lose some weight. But if I say, you know what? You should leave your husband, because, you know, that's not for me to say. The should has great energy, and it can have some not so great energy. I try not to use should for anybody else's life, what they should do. I try to not should on myself because I want to be authentic and live this authentic space and not run away from anything and face it. I've been told that I am an extremist, that I don't have balance, that I'm either hot or I'm either really cold or really hot, and that works for me. I don't believe in half-ass doing anything. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it and give it my all. To me, the balance is in giving it my all and respecting other people, not halfway doing it. If I'm going to say that I am a vegetarian, then I'm not going to eat meat on Tuesdays and say that's the balance. Then I'm just going to say I'm choosing not to eat meat from time to time. That's just me. I'm not telling anybody what they should be. I'm saying that I've learned to not run away from myself, but to face myself, to look in the mirror and say to myself, you need to change this and you need to do this, and then write it out. And I'm making an effort to do it. Like the consistency. I'm learning to be very consistent. If you struggle with that, there are ways to help you. Go on YouTube and get some meditation videos and learn to sit in stillness and talk to yourself and understand that anything you want, it wants you to, but you've got to work at it. Understand that if you're running away from a situation without dealing with it, it's going to find you again. Another story, there's a woman, she marries a man, he's not a good fit for her. He does a lot of things to her that she doesn't like. He's a cheater, he's a liar, he's a manipulator. So she divorces him. She doesn't do the self-work. She meets man number 2, and it's the same man in a different body. She doesn't do the work because the light bulb hasn't gone on. She divorces him. She meets man number 3. She recognizes it this time because she's kind of waking up to herself. She marries this man, but she does the work. And even though he showed up as an adulterer at some point in their marriage, they've worked through it because she recognized she was attracting that for the lessons that she needed, and he was available to give her that. I don't believe because somebody commits adultery that you have to get a divorce. I think there's a lot of variables in play, and it's for each person to decide what that variable means for them. And when you have really authentic people around you, they don't judge you for that. Truthfully, there is one reason and one thing, it's a myriad, molesting or rape. I would not ever stay with somebody like that. And if I knew someone who decided to do that, it would be difficult for me to be in a relationship with someone who could let molestation and rape be a part of their life. But that's just me. I'm saying that everybody has their limits of what they can deal with, and I would have never been able to stay with a man who molested my children or molested anybody's child or raped anybody. That wouldn't work for me. Okay, so it's getting really hot out here. I'm doing some, I love sweat, but I need to go teach this yoga class. So I just wanted to talk to you a few minutes about Running Away because I love the song, and maybe you might want to, go ahead and play it on YouTube and think about some of the things you might be running away from and decide to face them, because in facing them is your greatest victory. In facing those fears, when you face your fears, they do go away. They go away because now you can look at them for what they are, and you can deal with them, and you can get yourself in a position to heal. I hope that everybody has an amazing Sunday, and that this week proves to be the most authentically amazing week ever in your years of living. We're in Gemini season now, baby, so all bets are off. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.